This is going to be one of my biggest and best money-making predictions for this channel that I've ever made. And the reason being is because it can be done in so many ways. Now, hold to it. You're probably thinking, what is it, Marty? What is it? I can roll the music. Dun, 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 dun. Now that's shark music. We don't have that. I don't have the music, guys. But what I do have is something really awesome for you. And it's related to fertilizer. Now, don't bail out straight away going, I can't make fertilizer. Gone. Turn the channel off. You can actually. And if you've been watching this channel related to worm farming over the years, and even going back and watching some of my micro farming, urban farming systems where I'm growing, well not growing, but making my own compost in the side of my house and then moving to another bigger space and then developing it up and scaling it up. Well, I'm always a little bit ahead of myself, a bit too far ahead. And that's why I'm sharing it sort of later now, because I've been future looking at what's going on in the agricultural industry pretty much the whole time. It's related to organics, soils and things like that. Now, worm farming and composting is going to become absolutely gigantic. And the reason being is because there is a war against synthetics now. The price for synthetic fertilizers is skyrocketing as the American dollar goes up. Our other dollars go down, even the Aussie dollar's gone right down, I think 64 cents maybe, as we speak. I haven't checked it for a while. And, you know, like other countries, even more so, right? So they're looking at new ways, new developments, and new sustainable practices. And also, there's other outside agendas saying, hey, you got to get rid of these synthetic fertilizers, which I've created another video about regarding the Netherlands and some things that are seriously going on there with they're trying to remove 3,000 farms there to get rid of nitrogen in the systems. And what I'm talking about is there's lots of ways that have been progressed over the last 10-20 years on how to solve these problems. So I've talked about that. You can watch the video up here. I'll leave a link for you. Watch it more towards the end. Listen to this one first. Now, why is the world of soils, compost and worm farming is going to be so needed in the future? Well, basically it produces the best fertilizer on the planet. Now hear me out. pH neutral, right? So it doesn't burn any seedlings. It doesn't, you know, it's good for all plants. It doesn't have any bad smells. And when managed accordingly, the compost worms eat them and create a casting, a worm poop. Now, we don't actually have to harvest right at the end when it's all just worm poop, which a lot of people do. We can actually harvest around about 50% or even 30% through when it's worked through the compost. And the compost is just breaking down and they've dropped castings in it. And we actually have a viable product for growing a very, very good quality product. Now, there are lots of holes in the market, and that was one reason why I started my last one, is because I couldn't find the right soil to grow for my market garden, for my urban farm, micro farm, to sell the food to the restaurants. They wanted high quality organic food, and so I had to start right from the beginning, making my own soils and compost, and then growing in that, and then delivering out. But what happened was, right, is that it takes a long time to go through that whole process. So when I actually put it to market and decided, okay, there's a big hole here, you just can't get good quality soil at any of the landscaping places. No one knows how to do it properly. Everyone's cutting costs. It is not good stuff. And look, my garden, it's doing okay, but it could be doing a lot better. And I bought what they call the premium soil for, I think it was about $90 for a cube. And it's the pH is alkaline 8.5 or something like that. Not good stuff, right? And so I have to start developing my own soils all again. Now, hear me out. Where is the benefits here? Well, there's a big hole in the market because there isn't anything good quality there. People want the good quality stuff. They want to be able to grow food. And if you give them a good compost and they just plant straight into it, their plants just go crazy. They don't even need to be a good gardener. They just need to have a good quality compost to plant into. And so then all of a sudden, like my last one, everyone starts telling everyone and going, man, how's your garden growing so good? Well, I just bought this compost off Marty's Garden Compost. Really? I'm going to get some. And so it just expands out and expands out word of mouth. You don't even really need to market. You just need to make a good quality compost. Now, the thing about micro farming and the quality compost is that, as I said, you're filling that hole in the market. And then when people see it, they really rave about it. You get the word of mouth. And it doesn't exist, so there's hardly any competition. And the best thing is, you're not growing crops that can fail, right? That can fail, and or something can go drastically wrong with them. You can have hail or a big storm, or the birds are coming in, or lots of these different problems. When you're making compost, you can let it sit. You can actually go on a holiday, let it sit for a month, as long as it's sort of wet and moist and covered over. And yeah, man, you can have a break. You can have time off. If you get sick and you're farming, a lot of time you know you can't get to the restaurants, you can't get to the cafes, you can't get to the people. You just turn off shop. You just go, right, I don't have any compost. It'll be better in a month. Come back in a month, it'll be better. And believe you me, they come back. You tell them it's going to be better than what it was before, and you've only got a limited amount. Only so much can go out, and they will wait and pre-order. I know, because they've done that. And so it can sit there and it can rest. Now, for smaller guys who want to go super into like urban micro farming, what's going to happen is, right, people are going to need these compost worms. And what's going to happen is with the composting systems, you do lose compost worms, and they're pretty vital to make a very good high-end quality compost for organic farms and things like that, and for people that just want to really get optimum results. So you'll be backing up their supply, right? And also, as councils and things like that saying, we're not taking away your green waste anymore. Sorry guys, you've got to deal with it on site. And that means that all the restaurants, all the cafes, all the homes have to either pay for it or they have to deal with it themselves. Now, I know this is happening because I spoke to a councillor about it, and they were using me to consult for what to do into the future. And their answer was they're looking at the people and business to solve this problem, right? They didn't even know how to solve it themselves. And so there is a big opportunity there to actually, in the future, not only just go to these restaurants, people and cafes and things like that and say, hey, I'll take your waste away. You can charge them to take the waste away, right? And so you say, yep, this is how much it costs to take the waste away. I will do that for you. I will deal with it. You don't even need to tell them that you're composting it and you're going to be micro farming and things like that. Now, hang on to the next part. This is really, really cool, right? Now, if you are doing this and you're growing your own food, you have all your own inputs for growing all your own food. So you're becoming self-sufficient in this area. You're actually then charging people to take away their wastes. You're creating your own compost and fertilizers and amendments at home or on your space, wherever your micro farm or little urban space may be. Saving money that way. So your costs are very low. It's a win-win situation. Now, your only cost will be you need to actually make the compost, so your labour and where you get your carbon inputs. And I also recommend that if you do start doing that, you're looking at coffee grounds as a part of throwing in the carbon with the rest of your waste and your hot composting to get rid of any seeds and things like that. So there is a bit of a learning curve to it, but it really isn't that hard. And this is a massive future, my friends. As synthesized fertilizers are disappearing, we need a replacement. And people are going to go to try to get a chicken. It's going to burn their stuff. They're going to go to cow manure. It's full of weeds. They're going to go to all these other ones, sheep manure, horse manure, all this stuff. And it's good, and they'll have to compost it down for it to be really good. But then if they feed it to the worms, if you've got these things around, it's going to be even better. It's going to be absolute gold. And so you're going to have... Now, think about this, right? This is possibly what I may do here if I get few more hands on. windrow system, worm farms, all connected up, compost going out, compost going around the farm, things like that. Some of it going out to sale, and then also going around here to grow all my amazing food. And if I want to create another crop for the season, like a cherry tomato crop, like, oh, it's going to be a really hot summer, I'm going to grow these type of cherry tomatoes and get them out, a black and red one or something like that, to market, I can do that because my costs are very, very low. Basically costs me nothing than just the seed and my time to grow these tomatoes, which are around about, I think they're around about $16 a kilo for a black and red cherry tomato. Now that's killer, right? And you can then go microgreens, you can grow different herbs, bunches of herbs. Think about how you can add on and add extra value to your business, because you're going to be going to these cafes and restaurants and things. Okay, I'll take your waste away. It'll cost you this much to do that. Now some of them are already paying for waste to be taken away, so keep that in mind, right? And I've also got these organic basil and cherry tomatoes that I'm selling. I'll give you a trial. Try that and see if you like it. Now, I created a video with Pepe Fassos from 560 Farms in Lismore, a certified organic farmer, about micro farming, going to restaurants and all the tips and tricks. So I'm going to leave the link up there for you guys to check that out, and also down in the description. That is absolute gold for setting up a micro farm. Now, I believe that this is a massive, massive future, and I've been looking at this for the last many, many years and going, hey, we are so close now, mate. We are so, so close. So I highly recommend that you consider adding compost worms and these systems to your place. Even if you're selling just little like compost worms on marketplace and things like that, you could end up, having a nice little side income where you're getting an extra $100 a month. What would $100 a month pay for just having a handful of worm farms, just throwing your scraps out and selling it in marketplace and Facebook for people in this explosion going, hey, we want to learn how to compost, we need to know how to compost. The compost revolution is just around the corner, my friends. In the next 5 to 10 years, it's going to be absolutely mental. I'm recommending that you get in early, because there is a hole in the market already to start selling this stuff and producing really good compost and quality soils right where you live. Hopefully I've inspired you to get into it. If you've got any questions, leave them down below. Maybe you're doing something like this already. Love to hear from you. You have an awesome day. We've got more videos coming this way. We're going to be looking at my system in the very near future about how you start a wormery. How's that sound? Let me know in the comments box down below if you'd like to see that, and maybe a tour of the garden. Which one comes first? You let me know. Bye for now.